Hi, my name is Dani Haberman, also known on Instagram as Jessica Robin Retro. My pinup journey kind of stems all the way back to growing up loving musical theater. An actor by trade and a singer by trade, and that all started with my grandma, who introduced me to musical theater from a super young age, and we'd watch musicals together, and that was like our thing. And I always loved the costumes, and especially that time period. Singing in the Rain is one of my favorites, and so I think that kind of style of dress and hair and makeup kind of just has always stuck with me. Um, and then I didn't really ever start doing pinup or start doing anything retro. And then kind of the catalyst for me jumping into pinup full time and hardcore started in 2016. I had gone on vacation on a trip to Israel for birthright, and right before that, I had had a series of kind of really weird, scary health issues that no one knew where they were coming from. I magically got better enough to go on the trip, and then I came back and basically went right back into hospital. The long story very short, I got diagnosed with a series of super rare neurological issues. The fancy name, idiopathic intracranial hypertension, which basically means that they don't know why, but there was an abundance of spinal fluid in my body causing super high amounts of pressure in my brain, and my brain wasn't absorbing it. So it was causing me the most insane pain you've ever experienced. And then because of all the pressure, it was pressing on my optic nerve, which was causing them to swell. But bilateral papilledema, and I was starting to lose my vision. I started to go blind in both eyes, losing my peripheral. And then on top of that, they did a series of tests and found out that I had venous sinus stenosis, which means that the veins in the back of my brain are narrowed. So that was causing more pressure because the blood wasn't able to come through. I ended up having multiple spinal taps that then went wrong and failed and all sorts of things. And I had what's called a cerebral angiogram, which is where they basically roto-rooted my body from my inner thigh all the way up to my brain. They made a mistake. And 10 days after that initial procedure, I was back in the ER, and I had been diagnosed with multiple pulmonary embolisms. So I had multiple blood clots in my lung. It was scary, and it was very dangerous. And, as my mom said, like, I've seen Grey's Anatomy, people die from pulmonary embolisms. And I didn't just have one, I had many. And so that ended up, I had to be on 6 months of disability, and I couldn't do anything. Like, I could not get off the couch to go down the hall to get a drink. And so I was basically bedridden. And because I had blood clots, I had to be on blood thinners, which meant that I had to go to the hospital 2 to 3 times a week to get blood tests to make sure my blood was at the proper levels. And I was miserable, and I was lonely, and I was sad, and I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to do the things I love, like sing, or talk, or be with friends. And my mom finally said, she goes, you need to find something. You need to find something to look forward to, something to put on the calendar that's not a test, that's not a doctor's visit, that's not the hospital. So let's find something, anything you want. And I've always loved Disney. That's very much evidenced by my room. And so I decided on Dapper Day. I was like, well, I like Disney, and I've always loved the retro thing, and I've been to Dapper Day once or twice before. I'm like kind of dressed up. But I'm going to do it. So we chose Dapper Day, and they took me wheelchair and all. We did it, and I dressed up, and I had the energy, and I did my hair and makeup, and we went into the XO, and I had coveted Pinup Girl clothing forever. And so we went into the XO, and I saw this dress, and I was like, I need this dress. But I wasn't working. I was on disability. I was a struggling actor before that, so it's not like I was rolling in the dough. My mom was like, just try it on. So I tried it on, and it fit like a glove. It was one of the first dresses that, like, I didn't have to wear a bra with, which is, like, magical if you are well endowed. And I just remember, like, getting out of the wheelchair and putting on that dress and looking at myself in the mirror and not feeling sick. I felt happy, and I felt pretty, and I hadn't felt happy or pretty or healthy or any of those things in so long. I was like, okay, and I put it back on the hanger, and I put it back on the the rack, and my mom looks at it, and my mom and my grandma and all the women in my family sew, so they know clothes, they know fabric, and my mom starts pulling at the dress and counting how many yards of fabric it is, and she goes, Jamie, this is like $100 fabric alone. She's like, this dress is worth it. And so basically, her saying that was like giving me permission to spend the money on the dress. So I bought the Mary Blair commuter Jenny dress from Pinup Clothing. Got the dress. Then it just snowballed. And from there, I found out about Viva because I started watching, pinup girls on YouTube and following people on Instagram. And so I went to Viva. And the last night, ended up meeting people from LA. And they're like, wow, you got to come dance with us. I was like, where do you dance? Like literally yelling down the hallway at people. And they mentioned a couple of places, and it took me a month after getting back to like work up the courage to go. But I ended up calling one of my friends who had mentioned like in passing swing dancing before, and I was like, hey, there's this bar. I've heard about it. You want to go with me? She's like, yeah, let's do it. We went and instantly met people and had a blast. And me, who I'd never been to a bar before in my life, except for once in college, literally once, I'm now a barfly, and I am there 2 to 3 nights a week and dancing, and again, that snowballed into loving the music and loving the people and meeting people and somehow magically becoming a part of a rockabilly band. And that's just my entire life now. Like my entire life has been changed because I found Pinup and because it helped get me off the couch and get me back healthy. And now I am in remission and I can finally eat what I want and I'm not on any sort of like crazy brain meds and my lungs are better and dancing helps with that, singing helps with that, and waist cinchers do not help with that. But I still want my corset. And yeah, and it's completely changed my life. And it sounds cheesy, but it's completely